And we've talked about last year losing $147 million in the system. At the University of Calgary, depending on how you calculate it, it was $40 to $50 million. So $147 million in the system, 82.5 of that has been restored. Both the Premier and the Minister have suggested that the remainder of that should be restored to the post-secondary sector. So that would be about 64.5, and University of Calgary obviously would present good arguments to get their share of that money. We think that's a fantastic idea for the ministry and for the government to restore that money. The challenge for us is this money that they've already restored did not come without strings attached. We have an increase, for example, of 1,000 students on our campus that we've agreed to take with the $10.6 million that was granted to us. And the challenge for us is what strings in the $64 million will come. So when we talk about planning for the unknown, we've actually, this is the time in our budget cycle where we open up the budget and we allow people to go in and start planning all of our various units. And we have suggested that they plan for a 0%, because that's what the bureaucracy and the ministry has told us we should be planning for. And so people right now are busy. You should know a 3% scenario is associated with cost increase of about 3 to 5%. So when we say we're looking at a 0, we're actually looking at a cut to the overall budget, probably of close to 3 to 5% in real purchasing dollars. However, because of the situation last year and because of the uncertainty that we have in the budget this year, we've also asked groups to potentially plan for the hopeful 2% or more, should it come, so that we're prepared when we get news that we know what to do, or for a -3 or -5. And there's ways that we've calculated why this might be important. Some of it relates to salary increases that we might project are going to happen based on current salary settlements. Some are related to increased costs that we already see within the system. But right now, we're planning for a 0, which again is related typically to a -3 to 5% cut. But it's not the only thing we're going to do as an institution. You will know that the University of Calgary has not been an institution that's going to stand still, that we have grown and growth projected. So people should know, I should remind people, relative to our growth from a student perspective, 3 years ago we went to what we called a sustainable growth model. And we said that we would be happy to take more students, but only if they were funded, because we know the cost of tuition does not cover the cost of education, and we want students to have a great experience here. And we also said that in order to really grow, we likely need more space as an institution. So our capital plan and capital priorities become really, really important asks to the government, and those are all well in hand and well in place. Other institutions have gone to program prioritization exercises to manage budget. Probably the ones in Canada, this is really an American exercise, but the ones in Canada that are probably best known are University of Saskatchewan and Guelph University. And they've had varying degrees of success with this type of exercise. And essentially, you take every program at an institution, you put them in quintiles, not just academic programs, you put them in quintiles, and program prioritization would say that you would eliminate the bottom 20% or bottom quintile. So essentially, many groups that are doing this are saying, we're doing too much for the amount of money we have, and so we're going to start eliminating programs. We know that this exercise has been associated with a lot of angst on many campuses, and so in consultation with the deans and the vice presidents, we've decided this is not a viable alternative for the University of Calgary. And I think people generally have supported that. But what have we done instead of that? We have regular program looks. We have low enrollment program that, as a matter of course, we analyze every year. And we make sure that those programs are actually providing student choice, that they're being run in a cost-effective and efficient manner. And if they're not, then we look at eliminating those programs. And we've cut 55 of those over the last 3 years. When you look at, and some of those, I have to tell you, have not had students in them for a decade. So that was more an administrative exercise than really a cost-cutting exercise. We look at unit reviews and ensuring that programs that we're operating in efficient, effective manner, but are also current, meaningful, and relevant. We're just introducing a curricular review process. So we've decided, instead of going a very draconian way, that we are looking at the quality of programs on an annual basis. But we are also looking at program innovation. And so you'll see here we've got traditional program delivery and some program innovation. Traditional program delivery, we offer 4-year undergraduate degrees that are roughly 120 credits with courses that are 39 credit hours of instruction. One wonders what the magic is in that. And so now we've started to position degrees slightly differently. Faculty of Education, we've talked about before, one of the first out of the gates to say they're going to do a stackable certificate model leading to a master's degree. And we're starting to see other faculties look at that. This was one way the Faculty of Education reduced their budget deficit that they had by a significant amount. So there are a variety of things that we're starting to see. And the idea would be that we would grow program innovations over time and increase what we do as a university. So whether it's stackable certificates, online learning, dual or collaborative degrees, where we're looking at many, many partnerships right now with both local and international partners. These will be all things we think will help to manage the budget while at the same time ensuring currency, relevancy, and meaningfulness to today's students.
So the next steps, Drew's already referenced that right now the faculties and the departments are currently putting together their budget submissions for the next budget year. In November, those will all come together to the responsible vice president, and they will get submitted to first the executive leadership team for discussion. And after the defense of each of the budgets, there will be an allocation or a reallocation based on where it makes the most sense to be putting our dollars for the next budget year. Subsequent to December, we have a series of approvals and committee meetings at the board level where we will come to a board approval decision in around March of next year. Now you'll see the red dot in the middle, and that's showing that in March is when we'll actually get our budget envelope from the government. As Drew's already indicated, we're doing a variety of scenarios as we do our budgeting this year, and that's to try and manage across what the potential scenarios are so that when we get that budget envelope, we're going to be in a good position to submit our budget for approval. So in summary, we have come a long, long way on the path to financial sustainability. We thank the community. There were a lot of people that dug very deep over the last few years to get us to where we are, and we are moving forward. Ultimately, we are going to develop innovative solutions, and we are going to ensure that we have a sustainable financial future for the University of Calgary for this generation and generations to come. Thank you.